Okay, now this how I'm feeling. Lately I'm like the villain, cause why they on that other shit I've been.
Welcome everybody, Beefcakebro here, and in this video I'm going to share with you a few great tips that have helped me develop my low bar squat. Now I will say this is not a tutorial video, but I would recommend checking out a few other videos that I will link in my description. Also, if you haven't already, I would strongly recommend picking up a copy of Starting Strength by Mark Ripito. It is definitely a must-read for all people who are interested in strength training. Covers everything in detail. Great book. Highly recommend it. Also, I would highly recommend checking out Izzy from Powerlifting Win. He has tons of great content, all powerlifting related. He does a great segment on the low bar squat and all the mechanics involved. So go check it out. But we're just going to go ahead and get started with the first tip, creating the shelf for that low bar position. We're going to go ahead and start first by comparing the high bar placement next to the low bar placement. You'll see here that the low bar placement is sitting right on top of the shelf created by the rear delts. Now to attain this position, there has to be a great degree of shoulder mobility and a lot of scapular retraction here just to get that nice shelf going. I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys a few different methods to help you get this shelf. They work for me, and hopefully they'll work for you. First up, we have the hanging monkey method. We're going to go ahead and initiate this movement by first getting that scapular retraction in. We're going to go ahead and hang our body right underneath the bar. We're going to go ahead and pull ourselves up in the same fashion that we would do a behind the neck lat pull down. And that's going to get us right into that low bar shelf, nice and tight. We're just going to go ahead and move off into our second method, a method I like to call that's it, mayne. This is the simplest one. Honestly, there's not much to it. You're just going to go ahead and grip the bar, get that scapular retraction, and slide right into that slot. Right back there on top of the rear delts. And that's it, man. Moving on to our third and final method, the super tight method. My favorite method. Don't really know who I got this from, but I just love it. It starts off just like method 2, except you're going to go way past where you need to be just to get some extra tightness. And from there, you're going to stay tight, slide your back into the bar until it locks right into that shelf. We're going to go ahead and get into the next tip that has helped me improve my low bar squat, or just my lifting in general, but this tip is bracing. Now, if there's any tip to take away from this video, this would be it. Bracing, in my opinion, is one of the best things you can do when you're lifting heavy to instantly increase your lifts. Right here, we have my apprentice, Young Nev, taking those deep breaths and shoving them right down into his gut. And this is just going to make his torso a lot more rigid under heavy load, so he can keep that same torso angle throughout the whole squat. Another important aspect of bracing is keeping that upper back tightness. And once again, this can be done by having that really good scapular retraction, sliding into that low bar shelf. What I like to do is to take my arms and constantly keep tension on the bar as if you're trying to break it over your back. And you're going to jam your back right into the bar, as you can see here, keeping it nice and tight. You want to simultaneously pull the bar into your back and push against the bar while it's on your back. Another tip that has really helped me with bracing is keeping your lower body just as tight. Upper back tightness is really good, but when your glutes are tight, your quads are tight, your whole body is going to be tight. So what I like to do is to squeeze my glutes as tight as I can, get them right underneath me right before I initiate my squat. So everything's in a straight line, everything's tight, I'm ready to go. And here I've just included some old footage for you guys so you can just see the tips in real time. Moving on to the next major tip, we have the descent. One of the biggest things I like to focus on when teaching people how to low bar squat is keeping or maintaining that torso angle. You'll see here we have young Nev initiating his squat first by breaking at the hips, getting the bar over mid-foot, and squatting straight down by breaking at the knees. Another thing I like to note here is that notice how he is pushing his knees out when he's doing the descent. This will allow him to keep that torso angle without anything getting in the way, and this will also allow him to hit depth with no problem. Here we have the ascension piece of the squat, and here the key factors are to keep that torso angle the same up until you have to initiate with the hip drive. Here is a great example. We see here young Nev is keeping that torso angle the same up until he is initiating hip drive, bringing everything right into full extension. And once again, we're just going to string everything together for you guys so you can see it all happen right here in slow-mo. And this pretty much wraps up the video I have for you guys. I hope you've learned something. Hope these tips really helped you out. But as always, if you like this stuff, please leave a comment, subscribe, and as always, stay beefy, guys.
Okay, now this how I'm feeling. Lately I'm like the villain, cause why they on that other shit I been